For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
St. Lucia, rise. No more tears in mama's eyes. Together stronger we will shine. Let love and light rule the time. Every ghetto youth got dreams inside, but the system keep them pushed aside. Brothers fighting brothers, why? We should be lifting each other high. Tourists come, they love the vibe, but we live in pain, we cannot hide. From Cash Street straight to Viewport side, time to bring the peace worldwide. I know the struggle, I feel the pain, but violence never bring no gain. My people, let us break these chains. One nation, let love reign. Too much violence in the streets. We need peace, we need unity. Hands up, put the guns down, please. For the children, let the island breathe. Oh, St. Lucia, rise. No more tears in mama's eyes. Together stronger we will shine. Let love and light rule the time. No more blood in the night. Let the future be bright. Stand up for what is right. St. Lucia, time to unite. Youth man, don't throw your life away. You are the king of tomorrow, don't stray. Mama praying every night, she say, God please guide my child's way. From Dennery to Soufriere, we need change and we need it today. Raise your voice, let the music play. One love stronger than the hate we face. Too much violence in the streets. We need peace, we need unity. Hands up, put the guns down, please. For the children, let the island breathe. Oh, St. Lucia, rise. No more tears in mama's eyes. Together stronger we will shine. Let love and light rule the time. Peace and love, St. Lucia. Rise up, rise up. No more violence, only unity.
A cry for peace in the streets. Track performed there by Donnell. Welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. NewsSpin is on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Please like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. We'll be together until 2 o'clock this afternoon with your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Unfortunately, Jante is not with us today. She's not feeling too well. So speedy recovery to you, madam. And here's hoping you'll be able to be back with us tomorrow so that you could go through the comments in the chat rooms. What a sad day. And if it is not appropriate for us to have a mental revolution, I don't know when it will be the appropriate time for this to actually take place. Because what is very obvious is that we are going through some changes in our country, and those are not for the better. We have too many ills in St. Lucia. And I don't know if we assessing the situation appropriately, but it appears in our St. Lucian society we have more negatives than positives. Anytime people are losing their lives with such frequency that cannot compensate for economic development. So we say we have economic development, we have less people being unemployed, we have so many hotels being constructed, and therefore let's turn a blind eye to those social ills that are plaguing our country. And I prefer to focus on those ills that are affecting, that are impacting the quality of your life. And I'm sure that this would be to the disagreement of certain individuals in St. Lucia. But clearly, our mental state right now as a people in this country is definitely worrying. For everyone, whether you're employed, whether you're unemployed, whether you believe that quite apart from the social ills in the country, then there are some positives happening in your life, all good and well. But definitely, what is gaining prominence in St. Lucia would be the loss of precious lives. Whether it's young males, young females, the elderly. A 64-year-old woman gunned down in Marcia. And now a woman in her 20s killed in her vehicle. Such heinous, tragic, sad circumstances. And I hope, if anything at all, we will not just fleetingly focus on her death today, but we'll draw some lessons from her demise, and hoping that her murder will not be in vain. She lives to mourn a young girl, I'm told, a daughter. So we are reporting on the homicide of a young woman. And this, no doubt, has sent shockwaves throughout the St. Lucian society. This definitely has dominated social media over the last few hours, ever since we heard of a death, of a killing. Her name, Joy Ashley J.D. Toussaint. On social media, she could be seen slumped in her vehicle. The incident, I'm told, occurred just after 7 o'clock over in Marigot. Since then, social media has been awash with lots of videos and also voice notes. And for legal reasons, we have decided not to play those voice notes, which are very telling, and we do not want in any way to interfere with the investigations into this homicide and what will transpire going forward. But we have some critical information to share with you. And that would include a letter which the young lady penned to the judiciary. And let me try to read you the contents of that letter right now. And it is dated the 7th of March 2026. And you know, and if, again, a lot of people don't like to hear this, anytime you're making reference to the authorities, they say that you are unduly criticizing the government, and everything is the government, and you're blaming the government, and you're blaming the authorities, and you're blaming the judiciary. Today is the 21st of May, and officially, we have recorded already 34 homicides for an island of this size, small population, which is preoccupied only with red and yellow, and not preoccupied with ensuring that those people who have been elected and also appointed to perform a job to maintain law and order in our country, and those people are failing us. Just remove those incompetent individuals from the equation. St. Lucia is a paradise. And I know some people say easier said than done, but St. Lucia is manageable. Small population, greatest resource, our people, so you invest in the people. Try to have a functioning judiciary. We've been independent from 1979, taking care of our own business. We have our lawyers, we have our judges, our police, the judiciary, we have a cabinet of ministers, etc. And we still cannot get it right. And don't get me wrong. We are not saying that we should not have homicides or serious crimes, but ensure that it is at a manageable level. It has gone out of hand, out of control. Too many families are grieving. Too many children are without mothers and without fathers, not due to natural deaths, but due to violent crimes. So let me read you this letter. Again, dated March the 7th, 2026. And it is addressed to the Ancillary Police Station. Subject: withdrawal of charges. And we'll refrain from calling out names, identifying people, because again, no one has been charged in connection with this homicide, although somebody, we are told, has presented himself to the police as of last evening. But the police are conducting their investigations, and we do not want to in any way tamper with that probe or prejudice the outcome of that case. So it reads, to whom it may concern. Let's try to read this. I am writing to formally state my intention to withdraw the charges previously made against an individual. After careful consideration, I have decided I no longer wish to pursue this matter through the court system. This decision has been heavily influenced by my growing lack of confidence and disappointment in St. Lucia's justice system, and also my belief that continuing with this case would require a necessary expenditure of my time, energy, and financial resources, particularly as the circumstances surrounding the matter already suggest that it is unlikely to result in a positive outcome on my behalf. Throughout this process, I made several attempts to contact the court and consistently followed up with police officers regarding the bail conditions imposed on a particular individual. Despite my repeated efforts, I was unable to receive clear answers or meaningful assistance. On many occasions, there appeared to be little concern, urgency, or accountability regarding the matter, leaving me feeling unsupported and disregarded as a complainant seeking protection and clarity. Additionally, I must express my disappointment with the manner in which aspects of this matter were handled by certain members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. During the process, I was subjected to disrespectful treatment by an officer who displayed little to no empathy regarding my situation. I also encountered instances where other officers appeared uninterested and lacked the urgency expected in matters of this nature. Trying to get to the other part of that letter. It continues. It is deeply concerning. Says that it is deeply concerning that the system continues to fail many women in St. Lucia who seek help, protection, and justice in vulnerable situations. There is a serious need for improvement in how these matters are handled, particularly in relation to communication, sensitivity, accountability, and the overall protection and support afforded to women who come forward with complaints. Women should feel heard, protected, and taken seriously when reporting matters of this nature. Despite the concerns outlined above, I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude to the investigating officer, SPC 98 Henry, assigned to my matter for his efforts, professionalism, and assistance throughout the process. I appreciate the time and work he invested in handling the case and ensuring the matter was addressed to the best of his ability. While I am requesting that the criminal charges be withdrawn, I wish to make it explicitly clear that the restraining order issued by the family court is to remain fully effective and in force. I do not wish for that order to be avoided or altered in any way due to an individual's violent nature and my continued concern for my personal safety and well-being. Please accept this letter as my formal request to discontinue any further proceedings associated with this complaint. I respectfully ask that the necessary steps be taken to process this withdrawal. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Yours faithfully, Joy Ashley J.D. Toussaint. As we said before, we decided not to read certain names because the matter is very much before the courts, currently in the investigation, and no one has been charged in connection with the murder of this beautiful soul, Joy Ashley J.D. Tuesday, leaves to mourn her daughter. Which begs the question whether this murder could have been prevented. Now, we are not going to be rash. We can't afford to, because this is NewsSpin. We deal with the facts. But as far as the information that is before us, we definitely can make certain pronouncements. We can look at it from certain perspectives without, again, interfering with the investigation and not in any way prejudicing the outcome of that case. It gives us an opportunity to reflect on the challenges being experienced by other people in our society, particularly women, and the fact that they continue to be failed by the system. You have so many institutions are set up to prevent women from being abused in one way or the other, or individuals on the whole from being abused, ensuring that their rights are protected. We have individuals, we have institutions, and in most cases, they fail to carry out the functions for which they were established. But they still exist, and we still spend or utilize our special resources to ensure that they quote-unquote function, or is a case of exist, because they only exist in name. And what is very sad is that we continue to have those incidents occurring. History is replete with such cases occurring over several decades, but unfortunately, we are not learning from them. Every time we enact a piece of legislation, we play politics. We boast about it. We have a domestic violence bill. The first administration to do this and that. They're not being policed. People go to the police and they make reports, and those are treated with scant regard. There isn't any follow-up. And there are instances where certain things are happening in our society that, if they were not so serious, would consider it worthy of a chuckle. Take, for example, the Women's Support Shelter. What has happened to this shelter? I'll provide more detail in just a bit. But it was about 3 years ago, the then Gender Relations Minister, Dr. Virginia Albert Poyot, made a particular statement referencing that center, saying that it was empty and giving the impression it was empty because women were not presenting themselves to avail themselves of the opportunities that exist for them to remain there for a while, to seek shelter and benefit from certain services and so on. Let's listen and watch.
Interestingly, what I learned sometime last week was that the Women's Support Center, they do not even have survivors or victims of domestic violence in the center right now. So we are not sure whether people are underreporting their cases and whether there is a reduction.
Former Gender Affairs Minister Dr. Virginia Albert, she's been demoted. She is now a government senator. Here are the facts as far as this center is concerned. The Women's Support Center. You know how long the center has been closed? For close to 3 years. This Women's Support Center has been closed for close to 3 years. And not a word to the people of St. Lucia as to why it has been in this state, why it was shuttered. It is structurally in a deplorable state. My information is assessments have been made, but a determination is yet to be made as to whether it's worthy of some kind of rehabilitation or for the construction of a new center or shelter. Is that a government that really cares about the people? In this case, is the government putting the people who need that shelter or that center, putting them first? And they don't like to hear the truth, you know. In the run-up to the last general election, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands upon thousands of dollars would have been at the disposal of certain politicians. They made good use of those finances, and you saw the result of that, winning 16 of the island's 17 seats. Now you wonder whether some of those funds could have been utilized to reopen the Women's Support Center. But no, that's not a priority. It is not a priority. And the excuse we continue to hear from government officials, government ministers, is that they lack resources. But what about the CIP funds? Millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. You're selling our passports. What do we have to show for it? A few $1,000s could have been utilized to reopen that center. A few $1,000s could have been put to good use. What has happened to the staff of that center? We're dealing with facts. And let them accuse me of spreading misinformation and disinformation and of being vacuous. We're dealing with the facts. What has happened to the staff? The staff, I'm told, are working from home, paid a salary to work from home. People who are seeking shelter from domestic violence, children who are in need of a place to shelter. What has happened to those people? Apparently the government is paying to house those people elsewhere. Can't you use the finances, work on this Women's Support Center, rehabilitate it, have the staff return there, provide the support services, and then women want to seek refuge can go to that center. The children can go to that center. This signifies that this definitely is a government that cares. This is a government that is putting the people first. Let me hear from you right now at 452-2979. Again, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. 716-2026. Let's see if I could go through some of your comments in the chat room. And somebody says there, in addition, some of the staff was sent to other ministries. Another WhatsApp message, and it says, greetings team and all new spinners. This is so sad. Another baby growing up without her mommy. To make it worse, We, the women of this country, can't even run to the UK to save our lives so our children can get a better life. With what came out, visa to the UK, that's more than the ticket itself. Father Almighty, we need you ASAP. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another WhatsApp message says, I honestly believe that St. Lucia per capita has more freed murderers than any other Caribbean country in the world. Just in my community alone, there are 3 of them, one who was released a month ago. But we even have past cases that were so gruesome, only to release the murderers and even paying them millions because a lawyer persuaded the court that he was mentally ill. Why do I bring this up? I bring it up because these men know when it comes to the law, committing murder means I get to see outside soon enough. Committing murder means I have chance. The case with Joy, I believe, is no different. Another WhatsApp message, and somebody says there, what is Catherine Seeley saying? She's always so vocal when it's on the other side. Some more of your messages. It says there, let us call these crimes what they are. Femicide. St. Lucia has seen this pattern for too long. As we revisit the archives, we must never forget Giselle Georges, Kimberly DeLeon, Alicia Hunt, Kezia Wilson, and the names of all our law sisters here in St. Lucia. When will our safety finally become a priority? When will our lives be worth more than a headline? Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says that, Tim, this situation has touched tremendous. It has almost become a trend for violence against women in St. Lucia. After listening to the letter, she took the time to write to the police station, says it all. Women cannot depend on the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Let's see if we can go through another WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, the government does still look after these women by placing them elsewhere, so we can cast a blind eye. The skeleton staff are doing their best. As a community, we need to support women being abused. Some more of your messages. Let's see there. Somebody says there, hey Tim, can you clarify her surname? Is it Tuse or St. Omer? I think it is Tuse. Let's see there. Some more of your messages. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Again, 716-2026. Let's see if we could go through some more of your WhatsApp messages. And we have a press release with regard to this latest homicide. I'll try to see if I could go through it right now. Just bear with me. And this is official information coming from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. So we'll take a break from the calls right now and try and see if we could go through that press release regarding the island's latest homicide. And this one reads, homicide investigation of Joy St. Omer. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has launched an investigation into the homicide of 24-year-old Joy St. Omer of Otabo and Slurry on Wednesday, May 20th, 2026. At about 6:39 p.m. on Wednesday, May 20th, 2026, officers attached to the Marigot Police Station, they responded to a report of a homicide at Marigot. Upon arrival at the scene, officers found a female seated motionless in the driver's seat of a vehicle. Emergency personnel subsequently arrived on the scene and confirmed that the victim showed no signs of life. A medical examination later revealed that the victim sustained multiple gunshot wounds and she was pronounced dead at the scene. A male suspect, identified as the estranged husband of the deceased, is currently in police custody after turning himself in to the Criminal Investigations Department on Wednesday evening. The RSLPF acknowledges public concern regarding the circumstances leading up to this homicide. The RSLPF confirms that there was an existing protection order in favor of the victim against the suspect at the time of the incident. Additionally, there was an active matter before the court concerning alleged breaches of that protection order. On Sunday, March the 8th, 2026, a report of assault involving the suspect was made to the Ancillary Police Station. Following investigations, the suspect was arrested and subsequently charged on March the 13th, 2026 for the offenses of harm, threatening words, and violation of a protection order. He was brought before the 1st District Court where bail was denied. The suspect later applied for bail at the High Court and bail was granted. That's according to a press release from the Press Relations Department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Will not make any pronouncements on this particular press release, but I'm sure that you can read between the lines. All right, let's see if we go through some more of your WhatsApp messages. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, why isn't the government doing more for Lady Gordon's school at Cicero? The school supports our children who struggle with intellectual disabilities. The appearance of the school is appalling. The sign at the entrance is in terrible condition. And that's a message that was sent recently. Another WhatsApp message. The government does still look after these women. Okay, I think I've read this one already. Let's see if we go through some more of your messages. And somebody says that, Tim, tell Wasco, please. We want some water up La Bonne. It's over a month now. No water. I have a family of 5. All my tanks are empty. Again, that's according to a WhatsApp message. Some more of your messages to go through. And let's see there. Somebody says that, Tim, what's on with Rick? I haven't heard from him in a bit. I'm one who always looks forward to his contribution. If you're listening, Rick, we would love to hear from you on this latest incident. I think Rick is working on a book. But Rick, as you heard from this contributor, if you're listening, we'd love to hear from you. Somebody says via WhatsApp, I like the word you used when you said Virginia was demoted. She was the gender minister, yet through personal experience, I can tell you she tried her best to destroy the lives of some people because of politics. Again, that is according to a WhatsApp message. And there's a particular individual who is trying to get the line. Let's see if we could get to that individual. So please bear with me. We'll try to get to that individual in just a moment. So we continue to focus on this latest homicide. Definitely a sad one. I'm not saying the others have not been sad. This one, very, very sad. We have a call on the WhatsApp platform. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, hi, Timothy.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Mrs. Sarah Flood-Bober. I realized you were trying to get the line. Good afternoon to you, ma'am.
Yes, I was, and actually I'm driving, Timothy. I just pulled off on the side of the road so I could make this call because it is so important. Mm-hmm. So I hope there is no feedback coming from me and everything's clear. So Timothy, very briefly, I thought I heard you say when you were talking about the shelter that the government is paying for persons who need shelter.
Yes.
That the shelter is closed and that the government is paying what? Hotels or guest houses or safe housing?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Timothy, I mean, I would not believe that unless I saw the evidence of it. I would not believe it that the government is paying for safe houses for women or children who are fleeing violence unless I see evidence of it. Was any evidence given to you, Timothy?
Well, I got it from a reliable source. I got it from a reliable source. And in addition to that, ma'am, the Women's Support Center has been closed for close to 3 years, which begs the question:
Right.
where are those people being housed?
Right, Timothy, I'm asking that question not to question the veracity or the honesty of your source, but I had a client not too long ago, and I called the shelter on behalf of the client. I had the client call the shelter. She needed somewhere to stay, and she was told that they couldn't provide shelter for her. She was not offered any alternative. This is why I question whether or not it is in fact true that the government is providing shelter for persons who need it. I would like to see evidence of it.
Well, it
for me to
appears.
believe it.
Well, it appears, ma'am, that shelter is being provided to certain individuals, maybe because on situations where it's an emergency, where those people.
In my client's case, it was an emergency. She
Okay.
couldn't even go home that day. So, Timothy, I'm just saying this. I will conduct my own investigation because this is a very serious matter. A shelter is meant to provide shelter. And you're telling me there is so much money awash in the place, and this facility is closed. Staff have been sent to work elsewhere, and staff are home, working from home, and women are dying on the street? This is madness, Timothy. And I feel even guilty or embarrassed to simply call and say how sorry I am. Of course I'm sorry at what is happening in this country, but sorry now doesn't cut it. Sorry doesn't cut it anymore. This is nonsense, Timothy. But anyway, as I said, I'm driving. I've pulled on the side of the road just to make that point. I will conduct my own investigation because I had a client who was not able to receive shelter, and she was not offered any shelter, and her situation was urgent. So, Timothy, expect me to do some more work on this, and I will be calling you back, maybe not today, but I will take my time to do some due diligence on this and to come back. This is a very serious matter. The shelter was opened in 2001 when I was the Minister for Home Affairs and Gender Relations, and I know how much effort we put into this and how important it is to be opened and provide shelter for women in a safe place. And this past administration, I had called on Virginia Albert to open the shelter. She left office and she never did it. And now look at what is still facing our women in this country. It's unacceptable, Timothy. It's unacceptable. And I had to make my point on this. And the women of St. Lucia, we need to wake up. No one is going to do it for us. We need to do it for ourselves. Wake up! Because it might be one of us next. Timothy, I thank you. And I thank you for calling me. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. Thank you so much. You just heard there from former Gender Relations Minister Sarah Flood Bourburn. Let's continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. Once again, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says there, Tim, tell the police force take domestic abuse serious. There is a case in VA4. It's being taken for granted. Women losing their lives. We have a WhatsApp call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Okay, we lost that call. Maybe you might want to call back. Let's see there. Women really going through a lot since slavery. Now we're getting the strength as women. This is why I love this Calypso Minel singing. She gives us strength for us. Let's go back to that call. Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Tim.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say, in terms of domestic abuse, as a community, we need to take a little more responsibility. And I'm not saying that the shelter is not important. However, I believe with domestic abuse, it starts with the police. It starts with a nosy neighbor.
Okay.
And nosy in a good way.
Hold on, ma'am.
Because
Hold on, ma'am. So if the police investigate, you have a nosy neighbor, etc., isn't it the need for a women's support shelter? Where you put that woman? Where do you put her?
Yes.
Where
But
put the
first
children?
of all, we need to know.
Where do you put
we
the
need
children?
to know that we can report it, Tim. We need to know that there's somebody who cares that we're getting slapped at our home. We need to know that somebody will do something and not bring us right back to, to the place. So that's where the shelter comes in. I understand that. But first, we need to actually be able to report it. Imagine being a woman, being insulted, slapped, spit on, hit, and you go to a police station, and first of all, you're greeted by a bunch of men, though they don't take your report seriously. They ask you silly questions. And then sometimes the manner in which it is handled puts the person in more danger. So I'm not calling to say, it's not important to have a shelter.
Because I think,
blah, blah, blah.
no, ma'am, I'm sorry. I think that's the impression that you're conveying. Because it's out of the question. There is need for a shelter and for such an institution to be closed for close to 3 years, ma'am. 3 years, it's unacceptable.
We need to look at the holistic thing. It's a holistic approach. We're not just looking at one aspect. That's just one point
we're looking at it.
Circle.
We're looking at it in totality. We're looking at the behavior of the police. We're looking at the lack of a shelter. We're looking at it from the perspective of the judiciary.
The lack of the shelter.
Ma'am,
I'm only hearing about the lack of the shelter,
ma'am,
and I'm saying
wonder why.
Sometimes it doesn't even get to that point.
I'm just saying.
We're not even able to get the women out of the house. We're not even able to make these women feel secure enough to let people know that they're being hurt at their homes. So why are we even talking about a shelter? They're too embarrassed to even go to the police. The police are not doing what they need to. So why are we making such a big fuss? Let's look at the whole thing. I feel like we just focus on it because it's political.
You are missing the point, ma'am. You are missing the point. So I relieve you of the opportunity to make yourself appear even more ignorant than you are, honestly. And you even come across as being insensitive. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Timothy?
Yes, ma'am.
Timothy, it's me again. Timothy, I'm sorry. I've had to pull on the side of the road again.
No problem.
I'm sorry, Timothy.
No problem.
Who is this person who just called, Timothy? Is he someone that we know? Is he a public official?
I think he's a woman. I don't know.
Okay, so Timothy, I just heard the end bit of what you were saying, and I think in order to educate and to inform persons like her and others who may believe what she's saying, I want to give just a little background on why it was so important to have this shelter. I think you will recall that Ione Olinga Ford, with her team, when she started the Christ Center, she was lamenting about the need for the shelter, in addition to all of the advocacy and support that was being given to women. Lorraine Williams, when she was the Attorney General, Lorraine Williams was very instrumental in getting enacted the Domestic Violence Summary Proceedings Act of 1995. I remember this very clearly because I was then a young attorney in private practice. And a woman came to me. I'm saying this to tell you why it is, as a young minister, I made a point of getting this shelter, because I want to say why the law is not enough and we need the shelter to work alongside the law and all what the police are doing to make sure the woman gets protected. I think that is the point that the caller who I'm just called was addressing and didn't understand where the shelter comes in, and I think you were trying to explain that to her. So we had the Domestic Violence Summary Proceedings Act. A woman walked into my chambers. I was on Bridge Street at the time, a young attorney. And she explained to me that she was fearful for her life because her partner was abusing her, was beating her up, and she needed a protection order. I asked her the question. I said, absolutely, we can make the application right away, but where will you sleep tonight? I asked her that question because I knew that the way things were from a practical point of view, by the time I brought that application to court and within the time frame it would have taken for the order to be served on her partner, he may have gotten wind that she was doing that and she would be in more danger. So when I asked her, where are you going to sleep tonight? She told me she was going to sleep on Derek Walcott Square. She was just going to walk around. And I said to myself, you know, sometimes even when we have laws in place to protect women and empower them, if we do not have the social support structures like the shelter, when they enforce their rights, they can be in even more trouble. And this young lady who was killed now, she enforced her rights. She got in more trouble because she enforced the rights. That's why the shelter is needed alongside the law and alongside everything the police have to do. Timothy, do you get my point?
I get your point, ma'am.
I hope the lady who called is listening. We need all the systems, everything to work together. This is about protecting life. You don't do 99 out of 100. You do 100% of what needs to be done. And a shelter is a key part of that 100%. The women of St. Lucia, the men of St. Lucia, the people of St. Lucia should be demonstrating until the shelter is open. There's too much money awash in this country. The government just does not care. It is not a priority. That's my point, Timothy. I'm back on the road. Thank you very much.
And if you have to, call again, ma'am. Thank you so much for calling. Just so there once again from attorney and from a government minister, Sarah Flood Barbara. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We'll take a break. Still to come. More of your calls and your WhatsApp messages.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Hey there, Lucelec family. It's Malika, and today I've got a burning question. What's with the fuel surcharge?
Hey Malika, I'm Didi. Buckle up, because you're about to take a deep dive into the world of fuel surcharge. Alright? So Malika, fuel surcharge is all about the cost of fuel on the global market. It's a monthly thing, dancing to the tune of international fuel prices and our energy consumption.
Really?
So Malika, don't freak out, okay? Let's get into the math of how we calculate the surcharge. Imagine this. July's fuel cost is $11 per gallon, while last year's average was $10.50 a gallon. This is a difference of 50 cents. Now let's say we have a fuel consumption of 5,000 gallons and total unit sales of let's say 20,000 kilowatt hours. What we do, we multiply this 50 cents by the 5,000 gallons of fuel that we use for a grand total surcharge of $2,500. Then we divide the $2,500 by the 20,000 kilowatt hour unit sales. This gives us a net 12.5 cents per kilowatt hour. This is a surcharge applied to the electricity you use. And it isn't for Lucelec only. It's an international thing to keep things fair.
Thanks for the knowledge, Didi. Now I'm feeling charged up.
You got it, Malika? Keep those questions coming. We're here to keep you in the know. Hey,
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for Toombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
St. Lucia, get ready! The NLA FPL T20 Finals is here! Get ready for the epic showdown on Saturday, May 23rd from 7:30 at the Francis Babalastic Grounds. Who will it be? The Chevelle Credit Union, Chevelle Craftmasters take on the season's undefeated Akel's City Blasters. Get your tickets now. Only $20, $5 for children under 12. Introducing the FPL Party Stand for only $40. Non-stop vibes, non-stop energy. Premium drinks on special all night long. And your first drink in the party stand is absolutely free. The final is on Saturday, May 23rd, 7:30 p.m. Francis Babalastic Grounds. Who will be the champion?
Ouais, messieurs, aujourd'hui, moi, la KSP plein bomb glow. C'est un pani pressure. Moi, ni tongue, moi, ni glow, mais money pressure. Ou savez ça, moi, besoin? A pomme. Ça, c'est bêtise. Moi, quand aller ko Europa, yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business, yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Prendre pomme yo c'est Léo. Pomme ça c'est major. I bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moins actuellement. Glo ka fante. Europa ni pomme glo Léo under pour les 9 juin et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452-0763.
Flow makes your next phone upgrade easy. Add postpaid to your internet plan and score a Samsung Galaxy for as low as $47 a month. It's the smartest way to an interest-free premium phone upgrade. Don't let anything stand between you and that new phone feeling. Step into your upgrade with confidence. Visit us in store and sign up today. We keep your rhythm flowing. Terms and conditions apply.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
Blackheart is back. Battle lines have been drawn. Who will be the next Blackheart champion? Follow your team and take in the action. Kickoff May 16th, 17th, and 20th. Philip Maslair, Grounds in View Fort.
Over 60,000 in cash and prizes. 16 teams, 3 amazing venues.
Then on May 27th, 29th, and 31st, the Soufriere Mini Stadium comes alive. Tomorrow's stars take center stage. The Blackheart SLFA Under-20 Knockout Football Tournament, where future legends rise.
Over 60,000 in cash and prizes.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages. Once again, 452-2979, 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's take another call. Good afternoon to you. You are on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon, Mr. Timothy.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
Yes, thank you for hearing me, taking my call. This topic about the abuse, spousal abuse, is a very serious issue, and it should never be made light of. I don't mean to bash anybody, but what was mentioned earlier about the police, it is not limited to this island. It seems to be a Caribbean thing, because there's a complaint made by a gentleman some time back at the police station where he was making a report that he had been physically abused by his spouse. The policeman just laughed like it was a calypso, including the person that was supposed to be taking the report. And this needs really to be addressed. If the average police does not know how to handle such matters, then you need to give some special training to somebody so that it is dealt in a proper fashion. Okay? This needs to be done. Because this thing affects the whole family. If I may quote Steve Harvey said that young men who have not been trained, who have not been disciplined, not beaten with a rod, but who have not been disciplined and experienced certain matters to when they're young, grow up to be undisciplined adult men, males. And that is part females as well too. Let's be fair, let's be honest across the board. When you do not know how to function in a civilized society, then that is the problem, and this problem affects the whole family, the wife, the husband, the children, the community, the island, whatever it is, right? And I believe this is where the violence is being perpetuated, because it starts in the family, right? Where if you come along and see your father beating your mother, you tend to think it is normal, except you have really been conditioned and taught that it is really not the right approach. Most people seem to tend to pass it on. So this is something that really needs addressing by the authorities. It need to be given proper attention. Okay?
Okay, sir. All right, much appreciated. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Once again, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see if we have some more of your messages. Somebody says, my lady, this is not about politics. It's somebody's life we are talking about. Not because that you are supporting a political party to make a statement like that. Women are getting killed by some weak-minded men. You're not feeling what the family is feeling, and the friends are feeling as well. Let's see, another WhatsApp message, and it says there, one of the things I respect about you and why I listen to NewsSpin is your ability to accept constructive feedback and to be objective. Let's see if we have some more of your messages. Member 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says the system has failed us women again and again. I think the police and court system need to be revised and make the necessary changes to accommodate women. Too many women become a statistic in our country to violent crime against women. Here is a scenario. I divorced my husband many years ago. During that process and thereafter, my husband applied for a firearm. We continued to live under the same roof. The officer dealing with the case came to the residence to carry out an interview with my ex-husband in my presence and asking me right in his presence any reason why he should not be approved for a firearm, and had no choice but to answer positively. The next day, I had to contact the police officer and ask him why he had done this to me so unprofessionally. He did apologize and withdrew the application. I'm saying this to bring to light how things are done recklessly by those same people who are supposed to provide security to the public. We need to change how things are done. Rick Wayne is on the line.
Hi, Tim.
Good afternoon to you, Rick.
Some of your people asking what's Rick doing.
They're saying, where's Rick Wayne? We want to hear what Rick Wayne has to say.
Rick is listening intently, feeling disgusted with himself, feeling disgusted. You know that little clip? That clip, I think the name of the movie now, where Jack Nicholson says, you can't handle the truth. Remember that?
I remember.
You think you can find that?
And Tom Cruise is in that as well.
Yeah, but the guy who said it was Jack Nicholson.
Yes, yeah.
I really, really wish you would find it and just...
No, they might flag us for this. Facebook might flag us for this. Yeah.
But I'm sure enough for your listeners.
You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah.
Tim, how many people in this country, I'm talking about the population of this country, really can handle the truth? In your estimation, in your wildness.
How many people? Just a few.
Right.
Just a few.
A small, an insignificant number, maybe?
Yes, an insignificant number.
Okay. So if you have an insignificant number of people who cannot handle the truth.
No, a few. Just a small number of people who can handle the truth, and the majority cannot, yes.
If you have only a small, insignificant number of people who can handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And your vast majority cannot handle the truth. When you have a vast majority cannot handle the truth, they will just turn off to the truth. Because they can't handle it. They will just turn off on it. Make sense?
Absolutely, you're correct.
Good. Tim, what I say upsets a lot of people. Because what I say is the indelible, verifiable truth. And it doesn't say nice things about us as a people. For example, I just had a well-meaning gentleman call you there about this latest homicide that apparently is a domestic violence thing, right? I'm saying apparently because nothing has been official.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he concentrated, and I don't mean to criticize him. I just want to let's see how we can face the truth. His little speech there he began by saying, first of all, this is not the only country we have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's very important to him. He began by telling you it's not only in St. Lucia kill their wives or whatever. Am I correct in that?
Yes.
Okay. You think that has anything to do with anything?
No, but I don't think he was minimizing what transpired in St. Lucia.
I know you
transpires here.
I didn't say that, Tim. I even contrary to my normal self, I started back with an apology. I don't normally do it. I do not want the gentleman to think I'm knocking him.
No, but in St. Lucia, when you say I ain't knocking you, you end up knocking the person. Or when you say, man, I'm your friend, what comes after that?
Not me. I'm not in that bullshit.
Not you. I'm just saying generally.
When I want to say you're talking crap, I'll say that. I don't think the guy is talking crap. I think the guy is genuine.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about his genuineness is not necessarily remedial. With the best intentions, people die for things and they shouldn't die for, because they're misinformed, etc. People die for things they believe to be true, and it's not true, Tim.
Yeah.
Understand that?
Mm-hmm.
So the gentleman means well, and I don't want him to be the figure. I'm trying to point out that for years and years and years, what we do is call shows like this when somebody has been brutally murdered. And I want to tell you this. We have murders under different headings. Domestic violence, gang and gang. All of them are people killing people. And that is important. The label you put on it is important too because it says something about violence in the home and wives are not safe for their husbands and so on. It says that. But the far more important thing generally is a woman has been killed. By whom? By her killer. Now, the domestic violence bill doesn't mean it's going to do anything, Tim.
Yeah.
The domestic violence bill has been in the air for how many years? The domestic violence bill took it, since you want to go into that kind of stuff. The domestic violence bill was introduced by Lorraine Williams at the Senate, which is a highly unusual process. Because normally it's the lower house introduces the bill and the Senate rubber stamps it.
Yeah. I remember you said that a few months ago on this same
I
program.
wonder how many people remember it.
I remember that.
That's how long it took. And she had to do it in the House because people in the lower house were protecting an MP who had pushed his wife with his foot down some stairs, held a gun to her head, a loaded gun to her head in the presence of their kids. That is what an MP had done that. And that MP was allowed to continue as a gender affairs minister. That MP was allowed to continue in government. Now, we can go down the road and see how much we have encouraged the situation where we now at. So the bill itself isn't what matters. What matters is that we must make a really serious, determined, obvious effort to stamp down on these homicides, these killings. What we are seeing is people talking that the current government is not saying anything more biting or different from previous governments. All of them. We know very well there are too many cases unresolved. We know very well that the justice system is not working. We know very well our police are too politicized. We know very well we have police in high office who have been accused of very serious crimes against women to no avail. We know all of those things. So what the hell are we talking about now when unfortunately we are paying a woman pays the price for our don't give a damn? Because what has happened to that woman, we are all guilty, Tim.
Yes.
We have made no effort to stop it or to ameliorate it. None. No real effort to stop homicides in this country, whether husband against wife or wife against husband or any of those. We have made no real. I mean, we are more concerned with what the people are going to think if I bring in some people from England or if I bring in some people from America, because we cannot handle our crime. That is not all we can handle. We can't handle most things on our own, Tim. We can't handle eating on our own. We can't handle remedies, hospital on our own. We cannot. We know very well that the hospitals, people die there who should not die there, and who in normal circumstances, doctors, nurses, the government mainly, especially the government hospital, whoever the government is, will face suits. People here, yeah, that is our attitude, and it is encouraged from the highest levels.
Quitter ça, boy, bon Dieu.
Quitter ça, boy, bon Dieu.
Yeah.
You see, and of course, why Rick Wynn saying that? Why you have to include the opposition in that? Because they are damn politicians, all of them. All of them are politicians, and if you put them under the microscope, the politicians are the first enemies of the state. Hard truth, because they are the ones in control of the state. They are the ones we pay taxes to protect us. They are the ones who have failed year after year after year. We only discussed how many people have been killed in political terms. How many died under that government? How many died under that government? The relatives of those people have come to accept that their people are next to frogs, that if they die on your back, we know all of these hard truths, but we choose instead to talk about if, and this one said that, and all kind of crap. People take action when they're serious, Tim. They take action. And sometimes the action you take is inspired by the no action taken by the right groups. We don't understand the dangers in not taking action at the appropriate time. And I dare say, just as so many people believe that you can kill anybody in this country and get away with it because the figures say that, soon you're going to see a rise, God forbid, in brutality. Because it's going on. It's a norm in St. Lucia. Beating women is a norm in St. Lucia. Another truth, another hard truth. Beating women by their men is another truth. We see on the clips all the time, guys kicking women in the street. We make no noise. But when a guy shoots his wife, we are complicit. If we made the appropriate noises and took the appropriate desperate actions when a woman is kicked in the street, policemen are beaten in the street, we don't care. We don't give a damn about anything, Tim. So all the talk and all the team and yellow water and team and the domestic violence, bullshit. So that is what I'm watching. I am listening, been there, done that, and I'm bored to death with this complicity of everything that's horrid in this country by everybody in this country. And I don't even start me on the matter of the opposition, which they don't like. Why are we mentioning the opposition? I didn't want to go there. That's another story again. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome, sir. Always a pleasure to hear from you. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Let's see if we can go through a WhatsApp message. Just bear with me. Let's see what you are saying there. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, what is the latest on the mother of 3 gunned down in Corinth? The system failed her. Another child left motherless. Condolences to Joy's family. And another WhatsApp message, and somebody says there, just trying to see if I could access this one. Tim, I have been a listener of NewsSpin all its life. Tim, every time Rick Wayne bashes an SLP government, he must say both of them. I'm not saying he's wrong, but he doesn't say it was it when UWP is in government. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Somebody says, I extend condolences to the family of the young lady whose life was cut short. And nowadays, if the relationship is not going well and the woman decides to leave, so that now the woman's life is cut short. That's crazy. Lord, put a hand in St. Lucia and have yourself a pleasant day. Let's see there. Another WhatsApp message, and somebody says there via WhatsApp, today is recognized as Global Accessibility Awareness Day, or GAD, happening now on Constitution Park. And somebody says there, Tim, Joyce and Oma reportedly did everything society tells vulnerable women to do. She made a report. There was allegedly a protection order in place. The accused was reportedly arrested, granted bail, and released. Today, Joy is dead. So what exactly was the protection order protecting? Certainly not the woman. I'm disgusted by the state's continued failure to protect women under threat, while the facility, which opened in 2021 to house vulnerable persons, is reportedly closed. I'm calling on women to come out and demonstrate. We need to protect each other. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Another one says there, it is sad in this era that certain situations are not being expedited in our judicial system. The police have procedures to follow when a report is made, and it has to be done carefully. However, it would be in the public interest that human services and the courts have a mechanism in place which should bring immediate relief while the matter is being processed before the courts. Matters of domestic violence should carry an immediate incarceration, particularly where the life of the victim is threatened. Again, according to a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, A Few Good Men, Jack Nicholson's movie. Yes. And another one says, good day, Tim. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Remember, the High Court judge granted the suspect bail. I hope this High Court judge is satisfied and feeling happy and sleeping well now, having released this man to go and terrorize and brutally. Okay, we don't know whether this individual is guilty of having committed any crime. Okay, so let's be extremely careful. Let's see there if we have some more of your WhatsApp messages to go through. Let's see if we could have a call on the landline. But in the meantime, somebody says there, Tim, only capital punishment can curb crime to an extent at this point in time, because every four corners of the system has failed its citizens. IRP Joy. And another. Okay, we have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Yes, good afternoon to you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Give me the madam now.
No. Tansa, ma'am. No passav ki moun ki tue madam now. No passav. No passav di se ti misye beti madam, no just passav.
Okay.
So be very careful.
Okay. Blisi atwe kwa ikuma.
Saudi?
Misi atwe kwa.
Oui. Let me see, oui.
Oui, bon.
Mais ça pas mean il fait, hein?
Oui, ok.
Ok.
Si c'est lui qui fait, ça il a assis bordon les camarades là, même madame ça là. Ça doit faire pour lui.
Qui m'a dit madame là, moi?
Là, en fait, elle a ici madame là.
Ok.
Et que je vais assis bordon les camarades là, nous. Elle va faire belle pelle, je vais venir faire bête. De sorte là, oui, oui, moun. Non? On avait ça qui ça doit faire. Bye bye.
Okay, caller. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, everyone wants to talk about toxic men, abusive men, violent men. Fine. Those problems are real, but nobody wants to have the uncomfortable conversation about where these broken men came from. Men do not just magically wake up one day and become damaged human beings. A boy is shaped long before he becomes a man. He is shaped by the home he grows up in, the love he never received, the trauma he witnessed, the examples he was surrounded by, the violence normalized around him, the absence of guidance, discipline, accountability, and emotional stability. Who raised these boys? Who taught them how to love? Who showed them what respect looks like? Who modeled healthy relationships? Society keeps blaming the final product while ignoring the broken factory that produced it. We are raising children inside chaos and acting shocked when chaos becomes their identity. We still have children being raised in fatherless homes with no masculine guidance. We still have parents trapped in toxic relationships, screaming, fighting, cheating, abusing each other in front of their children, then wondering why those same children grow up emotionally damaged. We still have people becoming parents before becoming responsible adults. Some are still living like they are single and carefree, while the children are being emotionally outsourced to grandparents, aunts, siblings, television, social media, and the streets. Then, years later, society points fingers at the grown man and says, "Look how terrible he is." But where was society when he was a little boy silently being broken? This does not excuse abusive behavior. Adults must still be held accountable for their actions. But accountability without addressing the root cause is nothing more than a temporary emotional reaction. If we truly want to reduce violence, toxic masculinity, broken relationships, and emotional dysfunction, we have to stop treating symptoms and start fixing foundations. Because broken homes create broken people create broken societies, and the cycle continues until someone decides to heal instead of just blame. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. We'll continue with your calls and your WhatsApp messages in just a moment.
Advance your career at Lightspark Training with a globally recognized certification. Conveniently located on High Street, Castries, Lightspark offers a wide range of programs to make the most of your career. Certifications in project management, risk management, quality management, marketing, ACC accounting, human resources, Microsoft, Cisco, and IT technician certification, graphic design, web design, and programming. Complete a diploma in accounting in 6 months or a bachelor's degree in just over a year. Call us today at 451-8918 or visit us at www.lightspark.com.
Today. Get your credit card June 30, don't delay.
The Eastern Caribbean Central Bank is inviting suitably qualified persons across the ECCU to apply for the positions of senior economist and facilities maintenance technician. Ready to take the next step in your career? Visit our website www.eccb-centralbank.org and complete the application form via the Vacancies tab. Applications close on Friday, 22nd May 2026.
Bob and Dave were very proud to buy their mom a new energy-saving fridge with lots of smart settings. They remember the old ways of energy saving. Mom always said, "Close the fridge, you're wasting current." Smart advice then, smart advice now. Close the fridge, you're wasting current. Saving energy is what's smart.
Need branded apparel that looks sharp and shows up on time? Welcome to Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts. We specialize in custom embroidery and t-shirt printing for businesses, teams, events, you name it. From embroidered logos on polished Oxford shirts, available in a variety of colors for men and women, to bold, high-quality printed tees that turn heads, we do it all. Bring your own shirts or choose from ours. Small runs, big orders, rush jobs, no problem. At Imprinted Designs, we're built for speed, efficiency, and clean professional results delivered on time, every time. So if you want your brand to stand out, not wait around, come down to Imprinted Designs at the Valmore Plaza or hit us up at 451-2920 or email address imprinteddesignsSLU@gmail.com. Imprinted Designs, where every stitch counts.
Exceeding your expectations is what we strive for at Lazarus Funeral Home. Losing a loved one isn't something you can foresee. Since the beginning, affordability has been one of our priorities. Every day we're proving that burials don't have to be expensive. If cost is a factor in your time of bereavement, call Lazarus Funeral Home. We have coffins starting at $800 plus taxes. Nothing can cause more disappointment than poor quality. Help us help you keep your last memory of your loved one sacred. Make it special. Make it Lazarus Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Located at Bibliotheque Castries at 452-7491 and New Dock Road V4 at 454-6555.
Stop paying full price. With Flow, you can slash your bill in half. You heard right. Cut your mobile bill in half when you add mobile to internet. That's the most reliable Wi-Fi at home. Plus, all the data you need on the go. So don't wait. Double your connection and double your value for half the price. Add mobile to internet today. Visit in-store or online at discoverflow.co for more details.
Ouais, messie, pas jodi moi la ka espérer plein bon glow, hein. Si t'es la pani pressure. Moi ni tongue, moi ni glow, me money pressure. Ou savez ça moi besoin? A pomme. Ça c'est bêtise. Moi ka aller ko Europa. Yo ni toute pomme pour toute condition. Qui pour kay, qui pour business. Yo ni pli mer pour pomme cette ici. Yo ka ranger pomme aussi qui besoin service. Run pump yo c'est Léo. Pump ça c'est Major. Ils bon tout bonnement. Tant si ten moi actuellement. Glo ka fonte. Europa ni pump glo Léo under pour les nerfs, joinge et gris. Visitez Europa ambassade Gozile. Les mots au téléphone 452 0763.
Very much concerning that those incidents continue to occur around our island. However, we are working sufficient. Well, we are making sufficient strides in getting most of them solved, and also in our crime prevention strategies. I can't speak much about those homicides not being privy to that information because of the topic that we had already scheduled for tonight. However, I can say that it is very concerning, and of course we are working towards preventing and also solving those that have already occurred.
What is the workload like for you as a senior police officer and your other officers dealing with those issues, continuing to receive those calls?
Well, yes, it definitely places some strain on our resources, both our physical resources and our human resources. Well, you know, over the years, well, when I say over the years, I mean comparing our very early years. You remember back in the 90s, if you heard we had 30 homicides for a year, that would have been a lot.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, for some of the latter years, it has more than doubled. And you know, the strain is there on our human resources. But of course, we are the police, and we have a job to do, and we will continue to work to bring those, to solve those that have already occurred, and to see how best we can prevent some of them moving forward.
My final question on this particular issue. I mean, what should the police be saying to the criminal elements? Because I think we are tired of hearing people crying and bawling and, you know, and in tears and in pain and, you know, grieving over the loss of their loved ones. I don't know if you're going to appeal to the sensibilities of criminals, you know.
Well, I am not sure, Tim, very honestly, that I'm very good at making such an appeal. But we have been, I mean, you've been hearing from us, you've been hearing from the police, you've been seeing the different sorts of approaches. We have the softer approaches, we have taken, you know, the more aggressive approaches, and something seems to be working at some point, but every now and then we get that lapse. We look at, for example, our community policing. So, you know, so we have the softer approaches being employed. Yeah, but you know, so the appeal has always come from the police force. Mm-hmm. You know, that person should do better. Person should think better. Get less, should I say, less violent ways of, you know, settling disputes, etc. But I'm just hoping that eventually that, you know, some of those appeals from us and from other areas within the public will be heard and understood.
But I guess the big challenge is ridding our streets of illegal guns and ammunition, and that's proving quite difficult.
Well, yes, and you have seen a dramatic increase in the number of firearms that have been seized over the past months.
And that was Assistant Superintendent of Police Curtis Roberts. He was my guest on last evening's News Make a Live broadcast on DBS television. Let's see if I could go through at least a couple of your WhatsApp messages, and then we might take at least one call before we conclude our broadcast. And let me see there. Somebody says that in my 40 years born and bred in St. Lucia, I've never seen so many fetes, never heard so much violent and sexually driven music. All Lucians are concerned about is gossip and sex. Again, that's according to a WhatsApp message. And somebody says there, all right, let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Okay. All right, somebody says there, what I don't really understand is why should a female... Okay, I don't want to go through this one. Okay, let's see if we have another WhatsApp message, something that is more appropriate. What are our men thinking? We are supposed to protect our women. Sad day when we don't. And somebody says there, what about Kimberly? A WhatsApp message. And there's another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, the country needs a new set of beliefs. Corruption seems to be the only way out. There is poverty, fatigue. People go into politics to generate wealth. Hard work and honesty is not working. People have no dignity. That's according to a WhatsApp message. And let's see if we have another message to go through. Somebody says there, it's unbelievable that this woman would make such insensitive comments, clearly having no idea what it's like to be subjected to physical and verbal abuse. We have a notice coming from the NWU, and then we'll take our final call. We still have our NewsSpin news of the day to go through. The workers employed with the St. Lucia Tourism Authority, SLTA, will now have their representational interests defended and advanced by the National Workers Union, the NWU. This development is as a result of a secret ballot poll among the employees undertaken by officials from the Department of Labor based on a recognition request by the NWU on behalf of their said employees. The exercise revealed that the majority voted in favor of having the NWU as their exclusive bargaining representative. The National Workers Union is expecting the Department of Labor will soon dispatch a recognition certificate indicating the union status pertaining to that group of workers going forward. A general meeting is being scheduled among the employees to inform them of their roles, responsibilities, and benefits in a unionized environment. That's according to a press release from the National Workers Union. We'll see if we have a call on the landline. In the meantime, let me go through a WhatsApp message. And somebody says there via WhatsApp, the broken homes of fathers just getting women pregnant and turning their backs on the woman, whether it's because of another woman or just because the relationship is not working. Then again, some men keep all their childhood anger inside, and then when they have their relationship and is faced with situations, they lash out. That's according to a WhatsApp message. Somebody says they totally agree that we need to address the root cause. A lot of these children are coming from broken homes. We as a society need to assist these children, teach them from preschool how to manage conflict. There is also need to teach our young girls to be confident, get a proper education, make your own money, and know when to leave the table when respect is no longer served. That's according to a WhatsApp message. And let's see there what you're saying via WhatsApp. I think that will do it as far as our WhatsApp messages are concerned. Somebody says that, Tim, good afternoon. We are having a very serious problem in Foisson. The river is dried up and we haven't had water for 2 weeks. All the tanks are empty. The daycare is closed because of no water. The children in the primary school have to drink tank water. It is really an unhealthy situation. Some children can't attend school because their clothes are dirty. If a child gets sick from the water, I hope the school is willing to address a lawsuit. The thing is, everyone is going on their day like it's business as usual. We need something done ASAP. Again, that's according to a WhatsApp message. Turn my attention now to our NewsSpin question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day reads, why was our Joy's life snuffed out in such a heinous manner? Why was our Joy's life snuffed out in such a heinous manner? Our NewsSpin question of the day. Finally, the NewsSpin news of the day, it reads, former Cuban President Raul Castro charged with murder in the United States. Former Cuban President Raul Castro charged with murder in the United States. The NewsSpin news of the day, bringing to conclusion another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. Please don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and click the notification bell to help the NewsSpin channel grow. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.